my YouTube. Got a lot of things I'm going to be posting. Subscribe. Like, subscribe. Subscribe. Like, subscribe. So I'm gonna need y'all to subscribe. Subscribe. And don't forget to subscribe. 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 So stay tuned. Thank you for subscribing. How's it going today? I'm back with another video. In this video I'm going to be talking about basically side jobs, or if you're owning for your business or you're starting a business, whatever the case may be. This one's for basically side jobs and people who are trying to embark in that. Number one is you want to be able to have that capability. You want to be able to have, that's basically the whole thing about this is capability, even having skill. So skills, you want to know that you can do that job. You don't want to go out there and just do a job that you haven't done before, or a job that you have done one time and you haven't really had that experience in terms of doing it multiple times to do it correctly. Because some things you've done already, it can be a different situation. And different scenarios on whatever it is you choose to work on. So you don't want to practice on other people's vehicles or equipment, or whatever it is that you're going to go do. Practicing on that is just not the time, because the liability stakes of it is way different. So that's where the LLC would come in on that part, which I'll get into that in another video. But you want to be able to have that skill. Number two, you want to have the tools necessary to do it. You want to be able to have the necessary tools that be able to fix that problem. You don't want to get into it, start doing it, and realize that there's a special tool you need, and now you got to start trying to find it, and you got somebody's vehicle or whatever the case may be in session, and you can't finish it because you don't have the tool. Or you want to think about that before you start. Make sure you have every tool you need to do that job, whether it's diagnostics or special tools, or special vehicles, especially like the luxury cars, Mercedes, BMWs. They usually take different kind of special sockets that you don't use on the regular. So that's with that. Number three is you want to be able to have safety. When you're going out there and you're doing that, you want to be able to know that I can do this safely without hurting yourself or hurting other people around you. You want to be able to do it right and have that safety to where you don't hurt yourself and then you break whatever it is you're working on or damage anything. So you want to be able to have that help as well. You have something that you're doing. There's some jobs that require two people, like bleeding the brake system. Sometimes you're going to really need two people to, one person to go on the bottom, one person inside. So that's with that part. You want to be able to have that capability to do so. Was planning. You want to be able to plan right. You want to be able to have that plan, because you want to have that proper preparation to get the job done. So with that being said, you want to plan out your labor. Labor is another thing. So planning out your labor, you want to make sure that you're charging right. You're not saying, hey, it's going to take me 7 hours on a job for something that's supposed to be quick, because now you're charging them more than the time it takes. Or you don't want to say, okay, it's going to take me 3 hours to do a certain job, or to do a brake job, or something like that, and it ends up taking you 5-7 hours. Now you're kind of not working towards, kind of just defeating your purpose there. So you want to make sure you plan out with your labor. There's plenty of places that give you labor times accurately online. Mitchell One, I think it's called Mitchell One. Advanced Auto, you have their pro account that also gives you labor. That's where I get mine from sometimes. So you want to make sure you plan that out right. You don't want any misunderstandings on that part. Number two is parts. You want to make sure that you have the right parts. You want to have the VIN number. Right VIN number, this is a big thing. You need to have that VIN number so you can get the right parts. Something in terms of all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive can vary on a part just by the difference. Like just did a 2007 Charger this last weekend, and the spindle nut for that hub is different from the spindle nut on a rear-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive or a front-wheel drive. They're different. So just want to make sure you get those right parts, right VIN numbers and other things like that. And on that part, you want to make sure you I recommend supplying the part yourself, so you better make sure it's right first time. But if you are getting a customer or somebody else and they have the parts already, it's always good to verify that before you even get into breaking things down and not having the right thing, or you find out that you took everything apart and it was the wrong thing. Another thing in terms of planning, you want to make sure that you are planning and you are having the right things you need, miscellaneous things. Whether if it's raining outside, you want to make sure you have a cover so you don't, stay in the rain, or little things like if you're changing tie rods, some of them have like those cast nuts with the cotter pin. You want to make sure you have those little things. If sometimes it doesn't come with it, you want to have those little things ready, things that you may need to get this job done. Or even if it's specialty tools, that goes with tools, you want to make sure you have that. But basically, proper planning and will get you going good, real good. Big one, your customers. People you're out there going ahead and doing, whether you're just doing it for a side job, you saw them on a Facebook group or something like that, you want to also make sure this is the location. Location, people are everywhere. You want to make sure that if you're going to charge for the travel fee and whatnot, you want to make sure that person is in that vicinity and buy parts and stuff like that. Not really a whole big thing on that, but location tends to actually depending on where the car is sitting at. You don't want to work on a car that's on a slope or an incline. You don't want to work on a truck or whatever that's in the mud, stuff like that. You want to make sure you plan, again, to make sure that customer and where the vehicle is in a proper place. Or like a record place. I went to a record place like 2-3 weeks ago, and I couldn't go on there for certain reasons. They wouldn't let me go on there. Now I got all these parts. The truck is in the location I can't even get to. Now, you want to make sure you plan for those things ahead. Another thing on the customer number 2 is the personalities. Each customer has different personalities. You have some customers that are just not in the mood some of the time. You have some customers that are just in the mood and they're ready to be by you and watch you do the work and stuff like that. So you want to remember that everybody's different. Everybody's different. Everybody's going through different things. So you have to really have that point in you where you are like you putting yourself in other people's shoes and you realize this person wants this done and they want it done right. Or maybe you have a customer that's been out and they are, they've already went to several people and they're not happy and they're just trying to get it done. So people have different personalities and they're going to want to have things done a certain way, or just be prepared for that. With the customer and pricing and organization, you want to be organized. So organization, number 3, is the biggest thing. You want to be able to come at the right time. You have some customers that are watching you and your time, and you being on time and punctuation. That's one thing too. Another thing is you want to make sure that you are very, very, very cordial in what you're doing and everything like that, and how you're pricing, because now you're going to have to get ready for this. Some customers are going to be like, well, I can go get this done cheaper somewhere else. You don't want to sell yourself short, is what I'm trying to say. You don't want to get into a job and you want the job, so you're going to sell yourself short on something that's supposed to be charged more. Now, customers, when you're dealing with, this is more on the vehicle car side. There's so many people doing that. At the end of the day, they'll say, okay, well, so and so is charging me $100 less. Well, you let them go, because you get what you pay for. If you pay for something that's so cheap and you're dealing with somebody who's selling it cheap, who's willing to do that service cheap, you're going to probably most likely get cheap. So me, I charge my prices according to my skill and everything like that. If someone tells me, hey, I'm going to go somewhere else, I let them go. I don't chase them, because at the end of the day, if they go out there and they figure out that you were way better and they should have came to you, they'll remember you. So I try to not sell myself short and do things I know how to do and make the customer happy. So that's just a couple things right there in terms of going out there and doing it yourself. There's so much work to be done, so many customers, so many different kinds of things out there that you can do. So you just want to make sure that you are getting out there and you're prepared and you are making sure you're capable of doing it, and make sure you get that proper planning, because you don't know what to expect out there. It's different from your job, where your job kind of has all that lined up for you, and it's kind of like, here's this, A, B, C, D, do this, and then you're done. And then you have that backing of other people. But you remember, when you're doing this on your own, either for yourself or just going out there and doing side jobs, which I really highly recommend. Just if you're going to be doing something like this all the time, and this is not just for a friend, that you might as well get license behind it to save you in the long run, to keep your personal and business separate. So, but other than that, you want to just make sure that you're doing the right thing, and you don't want to cause more problems on yourself trying to, do great. Because we all want to do great, but we want to make sure we're doing great in the best way. So other than that, just don't forget, like and subscribe. Give me some comments, feedback. Let me know if anything I missed or anything you have to add. I'd love to hear it. Thank you very much.